Hey everybody, I'm Shane.
I'm Lex.
Well, definitely a highly requested topic, both on
Sysinternals, definitely.
Yep, and it's rarely. Hey, how do you work with Sysinternals? It's usually has their favorite utilities.
True.
Comprise the Sysinternals suite. So, and I've been using it. I mean, like a lot of admins, I've been using it for years. Back when it was NTN.
Yeah.
Mark Rosanovich has just done a fabulous job. And anytime you go to Tech Ed or now it's Ignite. Thanks.
Microsoft
Ignite. I was there last year.
Have a drink,
last year.
Have a drink.
His breakout sessions are always just packed.
Yeah.
Just packed. He's a rock star, and his utilities are the best. So
very true.
Yeah, thank you, Ignite. I'm so used to saying Tech Ed.
It's been years.
And even after Ignite, I was telling people, I went to
Tech Ed.
Tech Ed. It's now called Ignite. Anyway.
So
thanks for pouring the scotch there. So what we're going to do, we're not just going to integrate some different Sysinternals or the PsTools with inventory. We'll show you how you can also use them
with Deploy.
Yeah, with Deploy, right?
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and start right off. Now, if you're new to PDQ inventory, there's a free version. This first thing that we're going to do, we'll work with the free version. There are some utilities that you just want that will work better using what's known as remote command.
Yeah.
Remote command is kind of similar actually to PSExec, if you're familiar with that one. So we'll show you how to use remote command, and then also to customize tools. We'll cover a bunch of that. If you have any questions, by all means, shout them out. And if they don't suck, we'll address them. All right.
And if they do, we'll just laugh at you. So yeah.
If they do, then we'll just clear our throat and pretend that we know the answer when really we don't.
Well, that's every time we do it, though, isn't it?
It's really good. All right. So let's go ahead and we've got PDQ inventory open here now. First of all, if you don't have Sysinternals, go out there and just Google Sysinternals, download this. Recommend downloading the suite.
Mm-hmm.
I have just placed a copy of it. What I like to do, you can see I just create a folder called Sysinternals under Windows. Make sure that's in my path. That way I can call any of these utilities without having to specify the path.
Yeah, and that's from the console. The other thing you're going to want to do is probably put those same Sysinternals on a file share, so you can actually call them from a remote machine.
Yeah, well,
that may not have them on.
Yep, and we'll cover those some different use cases where that will be necessary.
Definitely,
great catch. All right, so let's look. Well, actually, the great catch applies right now. Let's jump into. Let's say that I want to look at the logon sessions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to go back to this window here. Hopefully, it didn't close it. Yeah. So there's logon sessions. Now there are some commands from the Sysinternals suite that are meant to be run locally on a particular machine. And then there are other commands that you can run from a machine and just say, apply this to this target machine that has to be run locally. So this is where you'd want to do something like a remote so that it would actually run. So let's do that. We're going to go out to...
and the best way to tell if you've got one that has to be run local is you can't pass a computer name or an IP address.
That's a great call. So I'm going to go to Abraham now. I'll open up the computer Abraham. Go to Tools. You'll see the remote command. I'm going to move that up. Okay. So here's the remote command. I'm going to just run a command on Abraham. Now, if I were to type in logon sessions without a path, it'd probably error out because...
Well, for two reasons. One, it's probably not installed on Abraham because we didn't install it there.
Correct.
And two, it's not in the path. So
correct. So if I ran it, it would just be a file not found error. Hey, what are you trying to run? And so what Lex had mentioned, we've got, recommend that you do the same thing. We've got this out on token deploy. We've got another directory called Sysinternals. So I'm going to copy that, and we're going to run this from. There we go. Now, when you are going to be, when you run any of the utilities from the Sysinternals suite for the first time on a target machine, you're actually presented with a EULA, end user license agreement window.
Now, doing this remote's not a good idea because it will display that.
Correct, and remote commands necessarily need to run silently. So what we want to do is suppress that. Actually, it's not suppressing it; it's accepting it preemptively.
Yeah.
So you can do an accept EULA, accept EULA, and it's really a good
practice
to do that.
in any of these that you're doing, whether it's a remote command or a custom tool, use this because, in case you don't have it installed there or you haven't run it there.
But let's call out, once again, you are accepting the EULA. You're not just saying, ignore it. This is
like, yeah, I agree to...
Words mean things.
I agree to be the towel boy, whatever it is.
And I'm going to also call this out. Another great thing about, I'm going to open up a command prompt real quick before we run this. I'm going to run this locally. One of the great things about, what Mark has done with Sysinternals is that you can tell, got a great Unix Linux background because
very true.
Really, really pays attention to the usage statements. And if you're not familiar with what a usage statement is, Lex is a Linux guy, and he lives and dies by them.
It's basically the man page.
Yeah, it's the man page.
Yeah,
so
this will give you the options that you can run with it.
So I want to run logon sessions, and I'm going to do a /?. This is how you pull up the usage for these utilities. And you can see there's basically 3 options, 3 parameters that we can be run. We're not going to run any of those in this case. We're just going to run this. If I were to run this without here I'm looking at the interactive sessions, or the logon sessions, pardon me. So let's go ahead and run this. Once again, we're doing the accept EULA. And since we've specified the path, we'll just hit run.
Now again, this is going to go remote, run this on that machine, and it's going to return from Abraham the output in the window right there.
Correct. Now what happens if you want to do this on multiple machines at the same time? Well, with a remote command, you can do that. Now we called this from within Abraham, but let's go ahead and come out to our main window.
Grab 4 or 5 of these.
Yeah, just grab a handful of them. Right click, go to Tools, Remote Command, and if you have that pulled up in your command, since you just ran that before, you still have that in your command history, hit run, and then you can just look at the different output.
By machine, actually.
Per machine, yep. While we're waiting.
Do what we do best.
We still suck at it, but we at least try to drink our Scotch well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now if I want to look at the output for Alcone,
Archie,
or Bateman, etc.,
we've got options there.
There you go. And of course, you can, if you want, run this against an entire collection by simply, let's see, expand Office and look at the Office machines with Office 2010. Same thing, just right-click Tools,
Remote
Command, and pull that up.
There you go.
And it will grab all those computers in that collection.
In that collection, yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk about...
So it's a remote command.
It's a remote command. Now, there are times where instead of a remote command, you want to do... You've seen the Tools menu. It's accessible here for whatever is selected, whether it's a collection or an individual computer. Tools, such as I want to initiate a deployment. So to deploy software, I can go to PDQ Deploy. I can reboot or shut down the computer. I can initiate a VNC or remote desktop,
yeah. Let's make a custom tools, basically.
Now, this is not available in the free version. If you have Pro or Enterprise, this is where you can some of your favorite utilities that you use. For example, with PDQ inventory. So we have customers that say, well, I don't use VNC or remote desktop. I use IntelliAdmin or I use Dameware for remote control. All they have to do is, as long as you can call a command
and pass it a target machine.
Yeah, pass it the parameters necessary to launch that utility. You can pretty much integrate that with PDQ inventory.
Yep.
So under Custom Tools, we're going to hit...
That's under Preferences, so go to File, Preferences to get there.
Thank you for calling
that
out.
For all of you who are just starting with this.
Tool. So let's do...
this is my favorite services.
The PS service.
Yeah, PS service.
Okay. Now, so you want to restart probably, right?
Oh, always, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So let's do... well, we're going to do 2 things. Let's because PDQ inventory, like a lot of other applications, PDQ inventory, PDQ deploy, really does... rely on DNS. You need to have an up-to-date DNS. What we're going to do is create a tool to restart the DNS client service, because sometimes you just need to. It's similar to ipconfig/flush DNS, but this is a full contact version of that. So we'll just call this one restart DNS client, and then the command line. So here, this is where you're going to specify the path. Now, one thing about custom tools, they are launched from the console machine. Unlike a remote command where we're actually creating a service on that target and then executing that command from that target. Here we're executing a command from
the console.
The console.
So we don't necessarily have to call the one from the file
Correct.
server at this point.
Correct. We can,
As long as it's installed on the console.
correct.
Which we have, so.
So we'll go to Windows Sysinternals because that's where I'd placed it, and it's PS Service. And we're going to accept, even though I've already done that, once again, it's just a...
Best practice in this
practice.
case.
We're going to accept the EULA. And you want to restart, so the syntax would be a restart, or actually, yeah, we've done PS Service, restart.
Well, shouldn't we probably call a computer and then send
Yes,
a
we
restart?
should. No, actually, no, because we're going to, this is
restart.
restarting on local machine.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to restart, and it's called DNS Cache. That's the name of the service for DNS.
So this is going to be local? Let's just tag that as local on there. So
Yeah, you'll see this system tool checkbox. That means you're not going to you don't have to specify a target computer. This is something I want to run here. On my console machine, sometimes I might want to just restart that DNS client service. So I'll say, okay, I'm not going to give it a shortcut. And now
so because of tagging that, you don't need a target computer. You should be able to call that from pretty much anywhere.
if you see the tools now, you'll see that we've got the restart DNS client. That's just going to restart that here on my machine. Now that came up pretty fast. If I want to see that, I want to see that window.
You need to prepend to that command statement. A commands, is it a dash K or a?
Yep.
Yep.
So we'll do a CMD/K. That means we're, open this command window,
And keep it open.
execute whatever command you've specified here, but keep it open for me. And
There we go.
There we go. It just restarted. A cool thing about the PS service, I love it. Once again, there are two utilities usually that people use to besides PS service that are built into Windows to manage their services. One is the net command, which is really been superseded by
SC.
SC.
Yeah.
But there's neither net nor SC has the ability to restart a service. You'd actually
Stop it
Yeah,
and then
if I-
restart it, which is kind of a waste of time and energy, in my opinion.
correct. I mean, you can do this if you want. You could do like an SC, which is the system or service configuration. You could do SC stop DNS cache, and then you can add another command ampersand SC start DNS cache. But that's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So let's go ahead.
But
and
I'm a lazy admin. I want it as easy as possible to get exactly what I want.
Therein lies PS service.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
cheers to Mark.
Good
In
job,
fact,
Mark,
if you
yeah.
hoist your drink at your office, even if your boss is pissed off at you, cheers to PS service. Cheers to Mark.
Cheers, guys.
All right.
Okay, that's great to run on us locally. I want to run that command on other machines.
Okay, let's
So-
do that. We're going to go back in. In fact, I'm going to change that. I just hit Control, comma, by the way, to get to my preferences. I'm going to rename. I'm just going to restart DNS client. I'm going to call that local
Yeah.
for the local machine. Now, let's do a new one. We'll call this one target.
Cool.
And it's the same command line, obviously, minus one little note. So, and by the way, once again, if I want to know what the syntax is for PS service, what would I do, Lex?
Go to the command line, run PS service exe / question mark.
There you go. Of course, you could click this little ellipsis if you don't want to type.
Good point.
But I'm just trying to demonstrate how crappily I type.
Well, you have done that quite well today, I must say, man. Golf clap for you.
So we're going to go ahead and accept
The EULA.
EULA.
So now we got to pass a machine, a target
Yeah.
to this.
So I'm going to, now we don't want to just hard code a computer name here because,
Then we'd have to do it for every computer out there.
so we're going to use a variable. We have a couple of them now. How do we know which variables we can use with our,
Yeah, FU. I mean, F1. That's it, F1, or that big question mark right there.
okay, so yeah.
I'm going with FU.
Where's
though.
the FU key?
That's a good question.
I just hit F1, not FU.
Yeah.
And
there's the variables.
there's the variable. So yeah, I could do target or target host name if you want to use a fully qualified.
Did I derail your train just a
tool.
little bit? Just a little bit, man?
Yeah, you're awesome. All right, so once again, let's make sure that we're doing this correctly. So let's type in PS service / question mark and take a peek at. Yep, there it is. So it's
Slash computer name.
Yeah, and we might have to have accept EULA after that. We'll find out. And then there's the restart DNS cache, right? And if you want to make this, if you want to do a
Shortcut, yeah.
Let's do a control.
And where's that FU key again? Maybe the F key, all right, whatever.
Control. Just make sure that that's not already used somewhere else.
It's going to be a capital
And
F?
we're not going to select system tool here because this way you have to have a computer selected.
To actually run this.
To actually run this. Now, unlike remote command where you could run this on multiple computers, a custom tool you can only run on one selected computer. So and let's go ahead and do a, pardon me, that was the logo. Let's do the commit, the CMD-K.
Yeah, so it stays open, yeah.
So it's in case I screwed up here, which is not only possible but highly probable.
Your insert's on.
You are doing really good, dude.
Thanks, JJ.
Hey, once again, back
Shut up,
to
Max.
your typing, my friend. Does it seem like I'm just coming up with excuses to drink?
This is not a surprise to anybody who knows you.
Or anybody who's watched the webcast. Oh,
In fact, the next webcast
there's a
is
pause.
actually going to be an intervention. How's that?
Intervention? AA. Admin Arsenal Intervention?
We'll do this
All right, all my friends are here.
He doesn't have friends.
Yeah, come on, what are you thinking, man?
So we're going to go to restart DNS. We're going to restart it on this guy, yeah. There we go. So it looks like it worked. Did that work? I don't know.
It looked like it worked.
DNS cache.
How much have you drank?
DNS client. There we go.
Did it work?
So it worked. That's how you can run PS service. PS service. And we're not going to, obviously we don't have time to go through every single Sysinternals utility. There's so many out there. Some of them, once again, are appropriate for a custom tool. The custom tools, because you are going to be adding an entry to your tools menu, you probably want to be a little prudent with which utilities that you use in your everyday or semi-regular sysadmin life to add them here. And of course, they need to be appropriate. Like for me, I mean, I like to have I have one that's not a custom tool for PsTools, but I like to open up Active Directory users and computers, and so I just
put that in tools too.
I create a custom tool that way I can just always open it from here without having to go and look for that.
Hey JJ, do we have any questions or anything?
We will in a minute.
Oh, cool.
That means that someone's
trying to type.
Someone's trying to translate IT admin speak. I love that whenever,
If I had some audio that I could,
like a bald Brian drop on the Adam Carolla.
I don't have any drops.
Whenever
we
they
need to do
mention
that.
Adam Carolla typing an email or something like that, you just hear this slow pecking. Not only that he has to peck, but that he can't spell and has to search for each key. All right, so we've done the custom tools. Mm-hmm. We've done the remote one. Let's take a peek at PDQ Deploy. Now, there might be some times where you want to, like BG Info. BG Info is a really popular Sysinternals one. Maybe you're running a help desk user. You want your users to be able to see some information about their computer. Let's go to, I'm going to open up PDQ Deploy. Now, I've got BG Info. Simply put, now, I actually ran this as a command step. Mm-hmm. Let's bring that down. Sorry, JJ. Instead of a regular install step where you specify an exe or an MSI, I've created a new step here, a command, as you can see, there's the option. And I've got two commands. One, I'm copying bginfo.exe directory of the target computer.
And then obviously this.
And then I'm going to start bginfo. And once again, take a peek at the usage statement. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will actually modify the wallpaper to give information. I'm just going to do a pop-up, so you can see the appropriate parameters there. And notice I am copying the additional files. I'm copying bginfo down where I'm copying it to the temp directory, so the target computer. Now, one advanced little feature here. In the options, notice that we are running step one as the logged on user. And that way it actually runs interactively. You're going to need to have this run interactively. So if you're going to want to run anything interactively from PDQ Deploy, your run as has to be logged on user or deploy user interactive. So this is kind of an edge case. For the most part, when you use PDQ Deploy, you're deploying software. You want that to run silently, not interactively.
End users doing anything or seeing anything. So
generally, your run as is going to be just like deploy user, not deploy user interactive, just deploy user or something like that. But in this case, we're saying we want the user to see this. So let's go ahead and I'm going to log on to Carla here. And let's do this as a non-administrative account. How
Okay.
does that sound?
Sounds good.
Why am I asking you? It's not, what are you
I'm just gonna sit and agree. No,
you
don't
should say
something
no.
to me.
What am I going to care?
That's a good
All right,
point.
so we have Carla with the user reg for regular user. And I'm going to, well, we're here. I'm going to go to Tools. You can do this from within PDQ Deploy as well, but I'm going to
There's BG info right up top
the
there.
info. Perfect. Now I'm going to deploy it to Carla. And what are we going to see? So you're on the help desk, and Carla needs to know certain information about, or the reg needs to know information about the computer. You can just say, hey, there it is right there. What kind of CPU do you have? What's your default gateway, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm just going to bring this up. I bring this up every time. I name our machines after TV shows everybody around here has been watching. So that was Cheers. So Carla is a machine. Reg is the logged on user.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, Lex. We let Lex. We do let Lex.
here comes, guys.
You know what I'm gonna say
Prepare
now.
for this, yeah.
Yeah, he goes through these phases. Right now it's TV shows, but I remember one time he asked me, just, hey, what girls did you like in high school?
Oh, man,
I just thought we were
don't
just,
take it there.
I thought we were just
Don't take
talking.
it there.
So I'm telling him, oh yeah, I like this girl and this girl. And then all of a sudden these computer names start showing up with their. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be reminded of girls
Who wouldn't give me the time of day?
Yes, I got
They're
nowhere
they're
with
watching it
anything.
live on the webcast, and they're like, "What? Why's my?"
None of the girls that I liked in high school are watching this webcast.
And if they are, we're sorry.
More
Really.
people than more I like more people than are watching this webcast. How's that? That's a way you can push this out. And of course, BG info. If you want to run this, and not as a pop-up, but you want to have. Let's do this real quick. Let's see if I can remember the syntax. Well, once again, I don't have to. BG info. Now,
I just copy and paste.
Yeah,
I'm
if
so
you-
lazy, dude.
yeah, you can. All right. If you want to place this information, not as a pop-up but as a desktop, then you would just lose that /popup parameter. I'm sorry. We have a question. Go ahead.
Do the remote clients need a firewall adjustment to allow these remote commands, Paul K? Yes.
Yes, but Paul.
Yes, but?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a yes.
If you won't be able to even inventory or deploy to these machines using PDQ products if those necessary firewall settings aren't there.
Ports,
we
yeah.
are an agentless. We're agentless, so we utilize file and printer sharing SMB
SMB, ICMP.
for pings.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. If you can scan a computer successfully from inventory, if you can deploy to it, then those necessary firewall settings are there.
Yep.
Because once again, we're just using SMB and
Again,
that's all we do.
there's a great blog on the appropriate firewall settings on our webpage. So.
on our support site.
Yeah.
So, yeah, another question? Go for it.
Which is the most useful and most used tool in Sysinternals? Jason?
Well, Jason, that's a highly subjective. Well, it's a question with a highly subjective answer because
Yeah.
it just depends on who you ask. I mean, I know a lot of people. In fact, PSExec, that's a really popular one. Now, as we mentioned, remote command in PDQ inventory does kind of the same thing that remote exec does. It allows you to remotely run a command from a target computer. Not to, but actually from. But here's a use case where we've got people that will use PSExec to initiate scans or initiate deployments.
Deployments, yeah.
Like they might.
Say you had a baseline package, you just imaged a machine.
You just image a machine, and
I want to run a script on that will run
Yep.
my baseline packages and install those.
Yeah, part of your post, you've got a script that runs some post image processes, and one of those will be PSExec, and it will call the PDQ Deploy computer that you use, your console machine, and it will actually deploy it. So you want to do that?
Let's do it.
Once again, why am I asking you?
Let's do it.
Let's
do it.
do it. JJ said let's do it, so let's do it.
All right, so let's create a quick baseline. Let's just say that we've got a handful of products that we want to have installed, a handful of packages that we want installed. We'll do 7-zip, Adobe Air, and Adobe Flash.
Sounds
So
good.
I've just multi-selected those. I'm going to create a new package. This package just has calls 3 different packages. We'll call this,
Baseline.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to do a space in there. I'm going to call it my baseline because I want to drive home the fact that when you're initiating commands from the CLI that you want to use double quotes. So I'm going to have a space in there. All right, so we've got this my baseline, which comprises these 3 packages. Perfect. Now let's just say that
since we got Carla up, let's do it on Carla.
Well, okay, but Carla now with Carla, I'm going to have to log out and log in as an administrative user.
Good point.
You want to do that because I'm not going to pass. I'm using PSExec. I'm not going to pass the
Elevated.
The privilege. I'm not going to pass the password and stuff like that. So.
Good point. Okay.
All right, so let's go to Carla.
So once again, you need to be able, if you got to run admin style stuff, you got to be logged in as an admin. There we go. That was stealthy, JJ. Protect the login and password. Excellent.
And now you're gonna actually use JJ, silky smooth operator.
All right.
Oh yeah.
I need some dip.
You know what I need? Your drink.
What the hell?
Dude, that's bad form.
That was
Bad
party
form.
foul.
Lex.
Was that a party foul?
Oh, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
check this out. I can fix it.
Pour the little Freud. Okay, so all right. So now I'm gonna just to make this a little simpler. And keep in mind, you guys are going to have to do some math here. Put this in your script, but I'm going to show you how to do it interactively from a command line. Hurry up.
I'm working it.
Why are you here?
Relief? Maybe.
You're failing. You're failing at that.
He's here to pour the scotch.
Yeah, I'm here to pour the scotch.
All
Yeah.
right. You're passable at that. So I'm going to go to I'm just going to copy BG info, and I'm just going to copy this down into Carla in the path. I'm just going to copy it to the Windows directory. How's that sound? It was a rhetorical question.
Okay.
I was not looking for an answer, nor do I want an answer.
Stand there and look pretty. It ain't happening, man.
All right, so we've got BG info. Let's make sure that it works. Once again, there's the EULA.
Hey,
now, by the way, if I were to decline this EULA, but run BG info with an accept EULA, then it would accept it, right? Anyway. All right, so I've got this running. Now, I'm going to use PSExec. So what am I doing BG info for?
I was going to say, I lost the train of thought there, man.
I suck.
I drink your scotch, and you are totally derailed.
I really suck at life. Like you. All right, so I'm going to copy PSExec.
But I don't pretend to be good at it, though. I revel in the fact that I suck at it. So, hey, to all you have sucky lives.
I'm
Huh?
a very proud poser. All right, so let's just make sure that we have PSExec. All right, so rock on.
You know, question? You gonna pop it up for me?
Well, I was
Are we gonna watch
I was
Shane?
waiting for your cue. But
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
hit it, JJ.
All right.
Is it possible to open a remote shell using PSExec from the tools menu?
I assume that's
Yeah,
PDQ
the answer
inventory
is
tools?
yes. Now, with the tools menu, the answer is yes, of course. Not from the remote command. Remote command, you would never want to do that. Number one, it would be you'd be at cross purposes anyway because you're doing the same thing that
Yeah.
PSExec does. But yes, you could. You just have to apply the appropriate parameters to it, and then it would pop up your. So make sure you do a CMD/K, and then open up your. Put the appropriate parameters for PSExec to open up an interactive session. So it should be able to be done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I just got a question for you. Why didn't we just use the one on the file share? Because I'm writing a script for
because
once.
I know because I wanted to avoid that right now. That's why I was saying this.
Oh,
I was saying this while you were drinking my scotch.
that would definitely derail. Okay, good point. Good point.
So now we do have usage as well. Not as good as Mark Rozinovich's, but we do have a usage statement. Remember, if you're going to initiate PDQ commands, particularly PDQ Deploy, this is our backdoor deploy console here. I place in the path, system path, I place PDQ Deploy. That way I don't have to put the path in. But if you run PDQ Deploy, once again, if you don't have this in your path, you have to specify which is in program files, usually program files x86, admin arsenal, PDQ Deploy. If you type in PDQ Deploy, you'll see a usage. I want to do a deployment, PDQ deploy, And then you'll just see, you need to specify the package and the targets. All right. So here's what we're going to do. And keep in mind, do the math. Pretend like this is a script that you're creating.
It's going to run after you image a machine. Yeah.
So Carla is our image machine here. It's running some post-processing. And in your script, you would have something like this. So we've got PSExec. And once again, there's the usage statement. So PSExec, we're going to do a /D. We're not going to wait. We'll do a /H. If target systems Vista or higher, we'll run it in elevated mode. And there's the computer, right? So we'll do PSExec and
DNH/D/H.
Thank you.
Wow.
Make sure that's
all
right.
I got to do is drink your scotch, and you are. Wow.
And then the computer name is just there's no whack. It's just the computer name.
Quintana?
We're on Quintana. Thank you. No, we're on Guinness.
Oh yeah, Guinness. That's right. Yeah.
And then you specify the command. So the command, once again, if PDQ Deploy is in your
path,
then you just...
We can just call it direct, yes.
Otherwise, you'd have to type in the whole path here. But I'll just do PDQ Deploy, -deploy, and then the package. And we'll call this, it was...
My baseline.
And this is why I wanted to do a space in there. Just, double quotes, my baseline. And then your targets... And then the targets are just delimited by space, so you'd have to type in each computer name. In this case, we would do since this is running, maybe you just do computer name if you want to run on this computer.
There you go.
All right. You could also specify. You could also run schedules this way, but let's just do that. Let's see if this works. Couldn't find a spot. All right. PDQ Deploy, could not find it. So let's just do maybe, let's just hurry and do, maybe I'm smoking crack here.
Gotta nuke that extra space, my brother.
Thank you. Did I put that? Yep. Deploy. Let's make sure that that's the right one.
This is just proof that this is live, guys.
Right. Now would be a good time for a drop, like the Jeopardy theme song or something. Like I said, I don't have that.
File name, directory name, or volume label is.
1 second, guys. Sorry. Maybe we're doing the wrong ones. We don't want the H target.
Maybe do computer.
Oh, it is the...
Whack, yeah.
I apologize, guys. I suck.
But you do it so well. That's the cool thing.
All right, let's try this. Guinness.
Space after it, man. Well, that looks much better. Let's go pop up deploy, see if the deployment checks are on.
So we should see a new deployment kick off here if this does in fact work. I know we have people that do this.
People are much better at it than us.
All right, so it kicked off. It says there's your process. There's your
ID.
deployment ID. So it did kick off.
Scroll down on our deployments, maybe.
Did we do this right?
Yeah,
so.
we did. Maybe we didn't do it right.
No, promise it works.
Found a. Oh man. I promise it works. Once again, the most professional webcast on the internet. Woohoo!
I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm not giving up.
You're not giving up? We're going to
feels
make
like
everyone
golf.
sit and watch us try and figure this out. That's awesome.
Type stuff into the command prompt. And
All you guys just back off.
Do you need to accept the EULA?
You know what?
actually, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Here we are telling everyone to.
We might.
That's
we
awesome.
could find out if processes.
I love it. Shane, have a drink, buddy.
A monster, because you've had enough.
Yes,
Right.
that's true. You've had enough.
All right, deployment started. There we go. Well, maybe not. I mean, everything sucks. Nothing's working.
Everything. Go down to our package. Pull up the baseline package. Oh, look at that. We got 2 of them. There, Carla, successful. Excellent. Did you see that? It ran.
Oh, it ran twice.
Excellent.
I can't find out anything.
All
Nothing
right. Well, you
Yeah,
saw it work,
11
and we just can't
11
figure out how to do it. To
did
show
run.
you.
It did run twice. Whatever.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah. Hey. So once again, use PSExec, use PsTools, use Sysinternals. Get out there. Dig into them. I mean, and integrate your favorite utilities with PDQ inventory and PDQ deploy. So, I'm Shane.
Relax, and I'm going to drink the rest of his drink.
You already did.
I'm going to do it again.
We'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Hey everyone, thanks for hanging with us. If your question was featured during the webcast, if you'll please email me at webcast@adminarsenal.com so I can hook you up. And if you have any other additional questions you didn't get a chance to ask, our support site is a great place to go, support.adminarsenal.com. We'll see you guys next week.